Hey everyone, happy Wednesday, Wisdom. I'm so glad to join you back. I was just sitting thinking when I got an alert about breaking news that once again another attempt on Donald Trump's life. Potentially, there were bombs found in a car outside of a New York area where they're going to hold a rally for Donald Trump. And you all, it's just getting out of hand. And this alert came, I already had this video put together to share with you all how important it is that we pray for Donald Trump, we pray for our nation, because we are totally in some chaotic times. And just out of humanity for one another, you all know, if you've been on this channel for a while, like even with President Biden, although I didn't agree with his policies, I was the first one saying we've got to pray for him. I was the first one saying, hey, it's important to keep our heart pure towards him, and and show grace and a heart of mercy to pray for him. And it seems like believers only pray for the leaders in whom they want to pray for. And we have to pray for President Biden. We have to pray for VP Kamala Harris. No matter how we feel, we don't wish death upon them. And I see people on the left that hope that he dies. They wish death upon this man. There's no sensitivity. And the hypocrisy is astounding, because even with what was that bomb threat, which was a hoax that was called in from overseas, which is quite questionable when you think about it, right? But they had more compassion for a hoax bomb threat than they have had for Donald Trump, whose life has been jeopardy. He got shot in the head, his ear. His ear, right? Is attached to his head. Could have been his head. He has gotten, attempted to be shot at while playing golf, and not a word. The silence is staggering. And when you do hear something, it's to blame him for other people trying to take his life. And it's crazy, you all, the lack of humility or the lack of humanity. I mean, no matter how you feel about the man, you don't wish death on him. I don't wish death on Biden. I don't wish death on Kamala. I don't agree with her. But vengeance is the Lord's. I am not her judge. I'm not Joe Biden's judge. And so I just, I gave a word in September that there was going to be something that happened that would unite the American people. And there have been several things that I've seen and I witnessed, and I said, Lord, is this going to be it? Is it the immigration crisis? Is it the attack on Donald Trump's life? And people seeing wickedness in high places on full display? What is it, God, that you said that we are going to see in this month, that there was going to be a unity of the people because of some event? You all, I only prophesy what I hear the Father saying. I prophesy in part. I don't know the full story, but I know I hear from God, you all. And He has never led me astray. And so I wanted to share that information with you. And like I said, I had already had these clips lined up for you all, so it was already ready to go. I just had to come on and add that additional touch, right? Telling you about what's transpiring as we speak, right? So let's jump into the first clip, and I'll let you all take a look at it. The first clip is from The View. The host, Whoopi Goldberg, always doing what she does, stirring the pot. But let's jump in.
Also, let's stop this thing. Let's stop this both sides stuff.
It's a bunch, yeah.
Because it's not correct. Right. It is not both sides. It is one clear side. And you can point to many, many reports. You can point to all kinds of stuff that's been reported. You guys have to pull it back. This is not us or them. This is, you got to stop doing what you're doing, JD, and what you're doing, Mr. T, because you are not helping the situation.
So yeah, I think what's so frustrating with me and a lot of the liberal media is that it is so one-sided in their perspective and the projection. I talk about that all the time, the gaslighting being the play of the season, and it's as everything that they projected onto Donald Trump. They're out there taking and attempting his life, but yet they play the victim. They tell him everything that they are, but they truly aren't. And they put everything that they are on Trump. And it's frustrating. But like I said, man plans a plan and God is the ultimate planner. And their schemes are going to backfire because the American public can see it for what it is. And yes, there are some people that are still dazed and confused. But we are praying for a great awakening, that people continue to see the truth and the veil is removed. Because these people are out here and they are just lying without... They're lying and they don't have a conscience. Without a conscience, you all. Let's keep watching.
Problem is that Donald Trump, who I think, if you were doing hurricane categories, he's on hurricane category 5, whereas the other side might be a 2. And Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are not questioning their rhetoric right now because of their rhetoric, because of what he said in that debate.
The problem is, you all, they're banking on what they call low-informed voters to vote according to main media, to vote according to lack of research, and just allowing you to spoon feed them. Yes, that's what they call low-informed voters. And they're banking on your ignorance. They are hoping that you don't do your homework and that you don't do your research and you keep voting like you've been voting and getting the same results. And it's just, y'all, it is so sad because the information is out there if you want to know the truth. But you got to decide that you're open to hear different perspectives, and that will help you to begin to see and compare what it is that you are voting for. But you've got to be willing to open your mind. Let's keep watching.
There's been 33 bombing threats in Springfield, Ohio, that would not have happened but for this false conspiracy theory.
And here they go with the propaganda and the lies again. You all, it wasn't fake news. It's not a conspiracy when people, American citizens, ordinary people, are sharing what's happening in their cities, in their towns, in their neighborhoods, and they call it conspiracy. Everything that is going against their propaganda, they label it as conspiracy. It is truly 1984, the book George Orwell. If you haven't read it, you truly should, because it's like the thought police. They don't want you to think outside of their box. And if you think outside of the parameters that they have given you, they come for you. And they try to counsel you. They try to call you crazy. They call you conspiracist theory. They try to do everything to negate your character so no one will listen to you. The games they play, right?
Being spread by the vice presidential and presidential Republican candidate. And those Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, and those students and the people that are victims of these threats and everything that's going on there don't have 24/7 Secret Service, right? They're on.
I know it's hard to watch, right? When you see them continuously spouting out lies. But, they don't care about the truth. And they hope that you don't either. And they are not above, spreading propaganda and lies. That's exactly what they came to do. A lot of mainstream media is fake news. But I want to show you this clip of Governor Cuomo where he actually comes to bat for Donald Trump. And he says enough is enough. And I so appreciate that. Even though we don't agree on policy, I love to see the humanity to say, hey, whatever you feel about this guy, it's time for us to unite. It's time for us to say right is right and wrong is wrong.
Hey, listen, I wanted to just say, I'm really sorry that this is going on and it's being dealt with this way. Not because I'm in favor of his politics or what he says. I criticize him all the time. That's my job, and he deserves it. But he doesn't deserve this. A guy pointing an AK-47 at him while he's playing golf? And we take solace in the fact that the guy didn't get any rounds off. That does not work for me. If I had been through what that guy's been through in the last 2 months, you would not know where I am. You would never see me on TV again. No way I would do that. I don't know how he does it. He's got kids, they're adults, but he's got grandkids. He's got a wife. people giving crap to Melania Trump, worrying about whether or not there was a plot around his husband? How could she not? I don't think she's right, but I totally get why she feels that way, and people mock her. And then her husband has a guy pointed with an AK-47. Where are those people apologizing? That's what it's time for. I should not have come at you, Melania Trump, for suggesting that maybe there was something more afoot. I get your paranoia. I get your feelings. You have a right to that. There's nothing wrong with saying that, with being a basic, decent human being. It has gotten too out of control, too far from where we need to be and how we need to be. And I don't know what to do about it.
And we can't be silent about it. And I think, you know, all these people who made fun of Melania because she stood up and she said, I want answers for my husband. They keep coming for him and I want answers. And then they mock her, but then they act like they're the party of compassion and, you know, they're just so empathetic, you know, and worried about, you know, the immigrants. But they are not even worried about their own citizens. They don't care about President Trump's life being in jeopardy. They don't care about our lives being in jeopardy. But they're so compassionate, and they want you to be so compassionate about all these illegal immigrants coming in. But never mind American people. It's just they're a complete joke. It's so much hypocrisy. But like I said, I do believe that there is a shift that is taking place, and this is just the beginning. I was truly surprised that they even aired this, that they even allowed this to show up on main media. But again, that was also a part of the word that the Lord gave me, that the main media would begin to expose the truth and we would see a shift, and we have seen those shifts. So, you know, I just say, you know, keep your eyes open, keep your hearts soft, let the Lord give you a heart of flesh. Don't let this jade you, harden you, but keep praying. Keep standing in the gap, because our prayers, they are working, you all. There is a shift that's taking place. But let's jump into Governor Cuomo. Let's let him hear what he has to say.
To end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy. I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech? There is definitely more to this story, and we need to uncover the truth.
I think it's just very disgusting how Don Lemon is rolling his eyes and he's doing all of this. He has no compassion for Melania and what their family has gone through. But this is the same person that would show up if anything happened to Kamala or Joe Biden. He would come up and it would be a full-on rant fest. It would be hell to pay. But yet there's no compassion for what this woman is feeling and going through. It says a lot about his character, but we'll lift him up in prayer, you all.
And I didn't ask him any questions. I didn't go after him about his role. I just wanted to know how his family's taking this. Because I grew up like that. I grew up worried about who was going to try to hurt my father. And I told you a story last week that I remember this day. I was 7, 8 years old, okay? And I remember him jumping off that stage in some ugly houndstooth blazer and running up the front of an auditorium because someone had thrown a pie at a coconut shell at Abe Beam, who was mayor, and Bella Abzug, who was running for mayor. She used to wear these big, beautiful hats. And my father's on the stage with them in this mayoral debate or discussion, whatever. He got killed. He lost so many elections before he won one. And the guy throws the thing, and my father jumps off the stage and goes running up, and throws him on the ground, holds him down. I was so scared. And you can think what you want about Trump. He does not have many more full-throated critics of what he says and does than me, okay? And yet I called him today because I am ashamed of how we are responding and not responding to the threats on him.
Wow.
And I feel for his family. And I know you can roll your eyes and say, oh yeah, he asked for it. Listen, that's your choice, and I think it's a wrong choice, okay? We got to get out of the judgment business unless it's judging ourselves. And you got to start rewarding things that are better. And I got to tell you, I don't know how he stays in the race. I don't know how he got up after being shot in the head. And you people who try to mitigate that, you need to check yourself. He gets up, pumping his fist, stays in the race, barely even talks about it. Instead, we're talking about the Secret Service, who by most accounts did an excellent job this time. And you should talk about how they're funded and why they're not giving them more security, better security. But that's not what matters most here. There's a reason mentally ill or deranged or whatever it winds up being classified as, that these types of people are picking up on all the hostility. It's not enough to call it out and say it's wrong. I get that now. Being a scold does nothing. You have to just do your best to be the change you want to see, as Gandhi credited us. So, after waiting for a real message, looking around the media, being disappointed again, that everybody just wants to kind of parse out, who's to blame? Who's to blame? I mean, don't you think that you should, and don't you think that you should, and nobody's doing this. But this is the only thing that's going to change it. Okay? And look, I hear what Trump is saying. Trump blames the Democrats and their attacks on him as a threat to democracy for the violence directed toward him. He then says that they are the real threats to democracy. So if it's wrong that they're threatening him that way by calling him that, why would he call them that? We need better. And I keep seeing use of the word hate everywhere in our politics.
Thank you all for watching. Hit the subscribe button and I will see you soon. I love you all to life. I think this is going to be it for today. So unless something comes up that I feel like I've got to inform you all on, you all have a blessed day and I'll see you tomorrow for Thankful Thursday, right? All right, guys. Mwah. Love you to life. Bye.